With interest rates soaring the way they have been for the last few months, a lot more people are interested in guaranteed investment certificates. But, really, they're not that easy to access and get information about until a new product came along named the Yield Exchange online, obviously. And the chief executive officer, Yvette Wu, joins us right after this break. Yvette, a real pleasure to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, Pat. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Yvette, guaranteed investment certificates, as I say, all over the news because interest rates have gone up so much. And your yield exchange is something new, a new approach. Tell me what it is and how it works.
Yeah, so Yield Exchange, we're really here to help organizations make more money through this investment marketplace. So think of it as a way to unlock competitive rates with just a few clicks of a button, just like a Trivago for GICs. Gone are the days where you would have to call around one bank or credit union at a time to find out what the rates are, compare them and negotiate them, and do it in a very manual and tedious fashion. Yield Exchange, it's a platform where you post what it is that you're looking for, and then immediately the financial institutions on the other side submit their rates in a blind auctioning type of process. And you, as the organization who's investing, can sit back and see all these rates available to you in one fell swoop.
Where did you get the idea?
So I actually come from banking, and I headed up an enterprise risk division and worked really closely with the treasury folks. And through that experience, I saw firsthand just how manual the wholesale deposit space is. Where you're pushing a lot of paper. Imagine these financial institutions are fielding all these calls and emails about rates from their existing institutional clients. And then when they really are in need of liquidity, they tend to have two options. One, go through expensive deposit broker channels. Or two, they launch these product marketing campaigns that a lot of the times will cannibalize existing clients into higher rated products. So they end up not being as effective as they would like them to be. And so this idea was born, myself and one of my other co-founders, we actually worked together on the same team. And both of us are very entrepreneurial. He's developed, 13 different apps. This is my 7th startup. I've always had side hustles. And we were, talking about this opportunity one day, and he was actually thinking about a hotel marketplace idea. And then we just merged the two ideas together. We're like, this actually could be something where we remove a lot of friction and provide such a simple and elegant solution to a pretty massive problem and opportunity. It's a $750 billion market in Canada alone.
Okay, so would you describe yourself as kind of a techie then? I don't develop apps, for instance, and so I'm not a techie.
I would just describe myself as a builder. I think everything we do now has a technology component. So I would almost think we're all somewhat techies operating in this world that we live in. But at the heart of it, I'm a builder. I love building something out of nothing. And I love ideating. And when there's a good idea, I will pounce on it and just take action and start doing it to see, is there something here? I won't wait to, formulate a plan. It's like, let's just go test it out, see if there's legs on this. And then, then you can develop a bigger plan. But I'd say, that's been kind of part of my fabric from a very young age.
Okay, so the Toronto Stock Exchange obviously has been around for hundreds of years. New York Stock Exchange, same thing. There have been bond exchanges, electronic bond exchanges in the past. Why hasn't this been explored, or has it been done before, but unsuccessfully?
Yeah, so we did come across, actually through one of our municipality clients, realize that there was something similar that was launched prior to us. but it wasn't successful. One, the technology platform wasn't as user-friendly. Ours, it's super easy. We've been getting amazing feedback from, the 100 of municipal clients that are using our platform. Second, their business model was different. Our platform is completely free for the depositor to leverage. So if any of you are listening and you're sitting on extra cash in your organization, make sure to check us out and sign up for a free account. And then I think the other reason that this hasn't been explored or really activated is, folks in Treasury, they tend to, they really love their careers and are really deep experts in this space. And very few, really want to go out and merge technology within this space. Like it's just, one of those spaces that techie folks, I guess, if you will, also don't really have that deep understanding to be able to create something to innovate within this space. So I think that's been the real missed opportunity. I was really fortunate that I happened to be able to work closely with Treasury folks to get a deeper sense and knowledge in the space to then have that aha moment alongside with one of my co-founders.
Okay, but Treasury folks are also risk folks. They look at the risks. Are there risks associated with either one of the parties, the buyer or the seller of the GIC, if you will, the provider of the GIC, or even to you?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, there's risk in everything, but with this platform, we actually don't hold any of the funds. We are purely there think of it as a communication channel. Almost, we joke, we're like a matchmaking dating site. So we're really there to create access for both sides. We're creating access for the depositors to access all the different rates that are available to them that they wouldn't have in the first place been able to do a seamless shopping of the market. And then we provide access to the financial institutions to all these institutional depositors that they may not have had an opportunity to get in front of.
Begs the question, though, Yvette, how do you get paid?
Yeah, great question. So we get paid for every completed transaction. We take up to 5 basis points commission fee from the financial institutions. And then soon we are pushing out a new feature on the platform where financial institutions can push out targeted product campaigns to our institutional depositor base. So there will be kind of that campaign marketing fee that will be part of the revenue generating process.
The stream. It's interesting. GICs, as we led off with, have skyrocketed in terms of the interest rates associated from, gosh, in some cases less than 1% to, in some cases, almost 8%. Has your business picked up because of that?
I would say absolutely. And where it's picked up, because we've been focusing a lot on municipalities, and municipalities have historically always leveraged GICs as an investment vehicle. But where the big opportunity that has really rose through this interest rate market has been targeting SMBs and startup tech companies, organizations that didn't typically in the past really care about GICs because the yield is so low. Now people are really taking, a deeper look into this safe and secure investment. So the timing is great. We look at it similar to kind of that COVID window when we had to go through digital transformation and everyone was working from home and remote work just, flew up and rose. That's similar to kind of the GIC market that we're seeing right now.
Oh, cool. When I did go to your website and looked at it thoroughly, and I noted that you have a lot of customers, as you say, in all kinds of different areas. But on the banking side, the people providing and writing the GICs, it didn't look like the major banks were there. And I could have been wrong. I wasn't able to do a deep dive. But are they there in the first case? And if not, why do you think that is?
Yeah, so we don't have any of the big 6 on our platform yet. We are having conversations with several of them. I think with the big six in Canada, there's just a lot of due diligence, right? Like they really want to be very careful and mindful of which fintechs to partner with. So for us, I really don't think it's, if a question of if, it's more a question of when. As we build more traction and kind of that really strong reputation, and every time new municipalities join us, that's a signal for the big six banks to really, give us a deeper consideration. So, and we're already seeing those signals. We're having some really great conversations with a few of them.
Would they be as competitive as some of the smaller, trust companies or regional banks?
They currently in this market, they are quite competitive, but I think it really just depends on the customer segment group. So, of course, the red carpet is rolled out for certain clients that are very favorable, less risky. Their money is going to be sticking with them for a longer time. Those clients typically get a higher interest rate. And then, whereas with the smaller credit unions or banks, there's a little bit more leeway usually for negotiation. But again, in this environment, there's just so much change and volatility. More the reason to leverage a platform like ours, where shopping the market, really seeing what is available based on all the different financial institutions, really will count and will make your dollars work harder for you.
Makes total sense. Okay, so you've got municipalities and such. That's the institutional marketplace that you're using currently. Do you ever see this becoming a retail product where the average Joe can go get his GICs?
Absolutely, definitely. It's on our radar. There are a few things we need to consider. For example, right now, how our platform works is you actually are posting out exactly what you are looking for, the dollar amount, the term length, the type of investment vehicle. Imagine for a retail customer, the dollar volume is much lower. And so on the other end, the financial institutions, it's the treasury or cash management person who is entering these rates in one at a time. So as our volumes grow, and especially with the retail base, it's not a very sustainable model that we have, but we have a lot of solutions to this. There's automation. There's also some thinking around pooled funds. So, there will be more to come on that front, but it's definitely possible and on our radar.
Can you do these internationally? Like, could this platform that you're working on currently be one that's in the United States and be one that's in Mexico and Europe and all around the world?
Absolutely. We have our eyes on the US market at the moment. So we will be testing out the US in about 6 to 12 months time. We could also go to other international markets. There's ways to also white label our solution so that others can leverage the platform and then build out that marketplace of the depositors and financial institutions.
Okay, that now this is a relatively new operation, as I understand it, new venture on your part. And you say, you've done several of them in the past. Was it difficult to get funding for this, or how was it originally funded and going to be funded ongoing?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the onset, we bootstrapped. Then we did just successfully raise an oversubscribed round for our pre-seed. It was hard in the sense that the external market is very tough. For typically 2 years ago, for a pre-seed fintech like ours, would have been a lot easier to raise investors a lot of confidence that we are deep experts in this area. I do find in the investment space, there's a real affinity towards founders who have worked at Google. Like the brand name side of things really doesn't. Of how I look and who I am. But obviously we didn't let that stop us. We raised our pre-seed round and we're
In this day and age, I wouldn't have thought that.
It's none of it is overt, but I think there are still a lot of, again, unconscious biases that we hold around a woman of color. Like, can you really do this? Even though someone might not think of it in their, the front of their minds, but in the back of their minds, that definitely could be